Ryan never imagined that a voice message could change his life forever. It was a cold Thursday evening when he received the call. He had just returned home after work when his phone rang. The screen displayed an unfamiliar number. Normally, he ignored unknown calls. This time, something made him answer. "Hello." There was a brief pause. Then a calm voice spoke. "Is this Ryan Carter?" "Yes. My name is Officer James. I'm calling regarding Emily Dawson." The moment Ryan heard her name, his heart stopped. Emily. The woman he had loved for almost 4 years. The woman who had disappeared from his life 8 months earlier without explanation. The woman he still thought about every single day. What about her? Ryan asked nervously. The silence on the other end felt endless. Then the officer spoke. "I'm sorry to inform you that Emily passed away 3 days ago." Ryan felt the world collapse around him. His legs weakened. He dropped into the nearest chair. The room suddenly felt smaller. Colder. Impossible. "No," he whispered. "There must be some mistake." "I'm sorry," the officer replied gently. "There is no mistake." Ryan couldn't process the words. Emily was gone. Gone forever. The call ended a few minutes later, but Ryan barely remembered anything that was said. His mind had frozen. All he could hear was her laughter echoing through old memories. The way she smiled. The way she looked at him. The way she used to call him whenever she couldn't sleep. And now she was gone. That night, Ryan didn't sleep. He sat alone in darkness staring at old photographs stored on his phone. Thousands of memories. Thousands of moments. Yet one question haunted him more than anything else. Why had she disappeared? 8 months earlier, Emily had suddenly stopped answering calls. Stopped replying to messages. Stopped showing up. Ryan had searched for answers. He had visited places she loved. Contacted mutual friends. Even gone to her apartment. Nothing. It was as if she had vanished from the earth. Eventually, he forced himself to accept that she no longer wanted him in her life. The thought destroyed him, but at least it gave him an explanation. Now, even that explanation was gone. 2 days later, Ryan attended Emily's funeral. Rain fell softly throughout the ceremony. People stood silently holding umbrellas. Family members cried quietly. Ryan remained near the back. Part of him felt like he didn't belong there anymore. After all, she had left him. Or so he believed. As the ceremony ended, an older woman slowly approached him. Ryan recognized her immediately. Emily's mother. She looked exhausted. Her eyes carried the pain of someone who hadn't slept in days. "Ryan," she asked softly. He nodded. Without warning, she hugged him tightly. Then she began crying. For several moments neither spoke. Finally, she reached into her purse and removed a small envelope. "I think Emily wanted you to have this." Ryan stared at it. His name was written on the front in Emily's handwriting. His hands trembled. "When did she write this?" he asked. Emily's mother looked away. "About 7 months ago." Ryan's chest tightened. "Why didn't she give it to me?" The older woman closed her eyes. "Because she was afraid." Afraid. The same word echoed in Ryan's mind. Before he could ask another question, Emily's mother handed him the envelope and walked away. Ryan sat inside his car for nearly an hour staring at it. He wasn't ready. Part of him feared what he might discover. Eventually, he opened it. Inside was a single note. "Ryan, if you're reading this, it means I'm gone. I know you're probably angry, confused, maybe even hurt. You deserve answers. But before anything else, I need you to listen to the voice message saved on the flash drive enclosed with this letter. Please listen until the very end. I love you, always, Emily." Ryan's hands shook. A small flash drive rested inside the envelope. His heart pounded. He drove home immediately. Once inside, he connected the flash drive to his laptop. Only one file appeared. voice_message_final.mp3. For several seconds he simply stared at the screen. Then he pressed play. Emily's voice filled the room. "Hi Ryan." The sound nearly broke him. It felt like hearing a ghost. She sounded exactly the same. Warm, gentle, familiar. "If you're listening to this, then things didn't go the way I hoped." Ryan felt tears forming. Emily continued. "I've recorded this message dozens of times because I never knew how to say goodbye." Goodbye. The word hit him like a knife. "First, I need you to know something. There was a pause. You never did anything wrong. Ryan closed his eyes. Months of guilt suddenly resurfaced. Every argument, every mistake, every moment he blamed himself. You were the best thing that ever happened to me. His breathing became shaky. Then her voice changed, becoming softer, more fragile. 16 months ago, doctors found a rare illness. Ryan froze. The room became silent except for Emily's voice. At first, they told me treatment might work. She took a slow breath. I believed them. Another pause. I wanted to tell you. Ryan whispered through tears. Then why didn't you? As if answering him directly, Emily continued. Every time I tried, I imagined your face. Ryan could hear her struggling not to cry. I couldn't do it. The recording continued. The treatments became worse. The prognosis became worse. The future became worse. Each sentence felt heavier than the last. I watched patients around me lose everything. Ryan's heart shattered. I couldn't bear the thought of watching that happen to you too. Tears rolled down his face. For months he had believed she stopped loving him. The truth was infinitely more painful. She had loved him too much. I convinced myself that disappearing would hurt less. Emily laughed softly through tears. I know that sounds stupid now. Ryan shook his head. No, but she couldn't hear him. The recording continued. I thought if you hated me, you could move on. A long silence followed. Then came the words that changed everything. I never stopped reading your messages. Ryan looked up sharply. His heart raced. I read every single one. His vision blurred. Every morning, every night, sometimes 10 times a day. Ryan broke down completely. All those messages he thought were ignored. She had seen them. Every one. I wanted to answer. Her voice cracked. God, I wanted to answer so badly. Ryan buried his face in his hands. But the recording wasn't finished. There is something else you need to know. The room suddenly felt tense. Something in her voice had changed. It sounded heavier, more serious. I kept one final secret from you. Ryan looked at the screen. His pulse quickened. For several seconds there was only silence. Then Emily spoke. 3 months before my diagnosis, I found out I was pregnant. Ryan stopped breathing. The words hit him harder than anything else. Pregnant. His mind struggled to understand. The room spun around him. He replayed the sentence in his head. Again, and again, and again. Then Emily continued. We lost the baby during treatment. Ryan's world shattered. A pain unlike anything he had ever experienced spread through his chest. He couldn't move, couldn't think, couldn't breathe. Tears streamed endlessly down his face. For years he had imagined dozens of reasons for her disappearance. Never this unimaginable pain. Emily's voice became almost a whisper. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell anyone. I felt broken. The silence that followed was unbearable. Then she continued. I know you would have stayed. I know you would have fought beside me. I know you would have loved me through every moment. Her voice trembled. That's exactly why I left. Ryan stared helplessly at the screen. Finally understanding. Every choice, every disappearance, every unanswered call, every ignored message, all of it came from love. Misguided love, fearful love, but love nonetheless. The recording entered its final minutes. Ryan, if life gives you another chance at happiness, take it. Don't spend years living in the shadow of this story. Smile again. Laugh again. Fall in love again. Tears streamed endlessly down Ryan's face. Then came the final words. The heartbreaking secret she had carried alone. If I had one wish, it would be to spend one ordinary day with you. A pause. No hospitals. No fear. No goodbyes. Just one normal day. Ryan closed his eyes. The pain was overwhelming. Then Emily whispered the last sentence. I loved you every day. A soft breath followed. Then silence. The recording ended. Ryan sat motionless. The room was completely quiet. But for the first time in months, he finally knew the truth. Emily had never abandoned him. She had never stopped loving him. She had simply been carrying more pain than one person should ever carry alone. The last voice message had revealed a heartbreaking secret. Not a betrayal. Not a lie, not another man, but a woman who loved someone so deeply that she convinced herself letting him go was an act of kindness. Years later, Ryan would still remember that recording. Not because it broke his heart, but because it healed a wound that had never stopped bleeding. The questions were gone. The anger was gone. Only love remained. And whenever he thought of Emily, he no longer remembered the silence. He remembered her voice. The voice that finally told him the truth. The voice that proved that even after death, love sometimes finds a way to speak. And on the hardest nights, when the world felt quiet and memories returned, Ryan would play that final message one more time. Not to relive the pain, but to remember the woman who loved him enough to leave, even when all she wanted was to stay.